Chapter 250, Teleportation and the Immovable King Body. Among the 9 supreme treasures, the value of the illusionary scroll can only be ranked at the bottom. It's not as versatile as the 9 heavens thunder spiritual liquid that's suitable for lightning attribute cultivators. You can't say that the 9 supreme treasures each have their own focus. For example, the ancient sword saint's inheritance is more suitable for sword cultivators. It won't be of much use to others. In any case, I don't think has an illusion genius. Yon divine power cultivation techniques are more suitable for him. The people who were watching the show gave their opinions as if they knew best. John Shaw shook his head helplessly. Before coming here, I never thought that he would be able to reach the top. Coincidentally, he left on the way here, so I didn't tell him about these treasures. In the end, he accidentally chose the wrong one. He did not know that Sanchi had actually been chosen by the supreme treasure, and did not even have the time to reject it. Lu Yoiyu retracted her gaze and muttered, "If Grandpa Nightmare gets this illusionary scroll, he will definitely be extremely happy. I just don't know if they are alive or dead now." At this point, her eyes dimmed and she looked worried. "Yoiyu, don't think about anything else. Hurry up and recover. Try to climb as much as possible." Luo Kai reminded solemnly, "Here, every additional step means that you have broken through some of your limits." Yet, of course. Lu Yoiyu dispelled her worries, collected her emotions, and tried her best to recover. Now that her sect had been destroyed, she understood that there were not many people she could rely on anymore. She had to be strong. Chen Yiling felt that it was a pity, with his talent. Choosing the Sword Saint's inheritance is the most suitable. Since it had already happened, Sanchi did not dwell on it. After looking at the other treasures and seeing that the vortex had no intention of opening, he could only go down or wait here for the time being. Thinking that this immortal opportunity platform would be open for 3 days, it basically gave everyone a chance to climb to the limit. He did not leave. He sat cross-legged on the jade platform again and took out the ancient scroll he had obtained on the way. He began to browse the contents. His gaze focused on the person in the painting. After staring at him for a while, his figure seemed to come alive and began to stroll forward. The void fluctuations under his feet emitted a special power. As he stepped out step by step, the ground was like a shrinking waddle, and mountains and rivers quickly appeared from the fluctuations. His thoughts then received a stream of information. After absorbing it, he realized that this was a cultivation method for footwork. Teleportation fork. Sanchi was pleasantly surprised. He did not expect the scroll to record this divine footwork power. With anticipation, he began to absorb the information in the scroll with all his might. The most important thing was the mystical meaning contained in the painting. It was something that could be understood but could not be explained. It could not be completely described by words alone, so it was represented by the medium of the painting. I feel that it's even more advanced than the illusionary scroll. Why isn't it placed in the reward at the last level? Sanchi found it a little strange. From the carrier method, divine teleportation footwork was much more advanced than the cultivation techniques and divine powers recorded in ordinary words. In fact, according to rumors, this divine power was also very advanced. It was a famous top-notch divine power. With doubts, he continued to accept the information contained in it. After a long time, he came to a realization. Originally, this divine teleportation footwork was not complete. It was only recorded by the person who made the scroll when he saw other powerhouses using it from afar and only had some comprehension. In other words, this divine power was only an incomplete footwork that his predecessors had secretly learned when other powerhouses used it. However, the person who made the scroll should at least be above the soul transformation realm. His level was not low, therefore, even if the divine power in this painting was incomplete and its power was probably not even 10% of the original divine power, it was still valuable to him. It happens to be that when others use it, they relied on drawings to record it down. How powerful is the real divine teleportation footwork? Sanchi revealed a look of yearning. It was rumored that this divine teleportation footwork was a true great divine power. It was a top-notch means of travel for immortals. Just imagine how cool it was to cross hundreds or thousands of miles with a single step. I will just treat it as a preparatory exercise before learning the true divine teleportation footwork. Sanchi consoled himself and received all the information. As he stared at the scroll, the mysterious feeling on it suddenly began to dissipate. Soon, the light on the screen dimmed and lost its color. With a catch sound, cracks appeared on the scroll, turning it into a tattered item. He knew that this scroll no longer had any effect. The true meaning of the footwork engraved in it had already dissipated. Unless he cultivated the incomplete divine teleportation footwork to the level of the creator, it would be difficult to restore it. Sanchi simulated the footwork in his mind. His powerful comprehension made him realize that the key to this footwork was its unique charm. It involved some kind of law. He recalled that when he cultivated the sword and saber techniques that Elderkin had given him, he had to comprehend the pattern of the storm. This footwork was similar to that. However, this rule was even more difficult to comprehend. It was not something he could consider at his realm at all. He could only search for some superficial knowledge. He kept recalling the scene of the figure crossing the mountains and rivers with a single step in his mind. He was deep in thought. It should be the law of space. The so-called divine teleportation footwork is more like a disguised compression of space. It's a little like the folded space and curvature flight that I have learned from previous life. Sanchi's expression was a little strange. How was science so closely related to fantasy? Following this train of thought, he managed to comprehend the true meaning of the painting. I should be able to use nomological power to distort space and fold space, and use curvature on my body to fly. Sanchi gradually understood. Just as he was about to get up and take 2 steps, he sensed an abnormal fluctuation. A young man stepped onto the stairs. This person was burly and had long golden hair. His eyes were like the sun and there were dragon patterns on his brows. His aura was domineering and dignified. He did not look like a mortal. As the second person to reach the top, there was no colorful spiritual rain. He was indignant. The spiritual rain had the effect of tempering one's body and increasing his cultivation. It should have belonged to him, but it was snatched away by this dark horse. He looked at Sanchi with a cold glint in his eyes that was filled with hostility. He narrowed his eyes and saw that Sanchi seemed to be cultivating. He thought for a moment but did not do anything. Sanchi had already noticed this person and muttered in his heart, "This guy seems to be the crown prince of Great Jin. Without me, he would have been the first to reach the top. This guy seems to be hostile towards me. Is it because I stole his first place, or is it because I'm from the Heavenly Ghost sect?" He continued to sit still, giving this guy a chance to launch a sneak attack. However, Jing Wuji took out a spirit pill and ate it. As he recovered his restoration, he walked towards a ball of light. He was meticulous and knew that Sanchi had already recovered most of his state with the help of the spiritual rain. His strength was not inferior to his. If he rashly launched a sneak attack, the success rate would be much lower. It would cause Sanchi to counterattack in his peak state and put him in danger. Sanchi secretly cursed the sly old fox. He observed the ball of light that the other party went to. It was the light containing the Akalantha body. This should be a top-notch body tempering technique of the Buddhist sect. If he did not cultivate the imperishable golden body, he would definitely consider it. Jin Wuji had a plan long ago. Without looking at anything else, he directly took the Akalantha body and sat down to prepare to receive the cultivation information while recovering.